know when is a good time to buy a home in the Raleigh, Durham, Cary, Chapel Hill area of North Carolina? For example, what if right after you buy, the market goes down? How can you time it perfectly so you don't get burned? Is that even possible? What is the best strategy to time your home purchase? Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Ashley Gronwald, and I've been a top producing real estate agent in the Raleigh, Durham, Cary area of North Carolina for the past 10 years. People ask me all the time, what's happening with the market? What I can tell them is what happened in the market recently. And while that's very interesting information, what really matters and what people really want to know when they ask that question is what is going to happen in the market. The right answer to that question is no one knows about the short term within the next 3 years or so. And if they really think they do, they should be quiet and invest their money and become a billionaire. But the rest of us, all of us, can learn from observing the long and consistent history of what has been happening for over 50 years in the local and national housing market. And it looks like this. Here's a graph since 2004 of our local MLS area, which includes Wake and all surrounding counties, which includes Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Cary, and as far out as Wake Forest, Garner, Holly Springs, Fuquay-Varina, Pittsboro, Wendell, Rolesville, Knightdale, Hillsborough, Carborough, and a half a dozen other smaller municipalities. In most of the United States, home prices have been predictably increasing forever, with a few exceptions, and you can see why they called it the Great Recession. Even then, home prices recovered nationally within 7 years. These graphs show that if history continues, as it has over the past 60 years, the value of almost every home will increase, even over a fairly short time span, even if there are some short-lived downturns along the way. And consider also that interest rates during most of the increase in home prices were 5 or 6 or even 10 or 20% in the 70s. Yet home prices continue to rise. But what about our area, the Triangle region of North Carolina? What will the future of Raleigh, Durham, Cary, Chapel Hill real estate look like? We can analyze our local situation using the concept that determines the price of everything, supply versus demand. When the supply of homes is great, then the demand for homes, sellers compete with each other and prices go down. This is called a buyer's market. When demand for homes is greater than the supply, buyers compete for homes, and as a result, prices go up. This is called a seller's market. We realtors have a way of measure in real time whether we are experiencing a buyer's or seller market, and it's called months supply of inventory. Basically, this means if buyers keep buying at the current rate, how many months would it take them to purchase all the currently available homes for sale? If that number is more than 6, then it's considered a buyer's market. If that number is less than 6, it's considered a seller's market. Here's what that number has looked like in the Triangle for the past 10 years. When an area is experiencing a seller's market, and anything less than 2 months is considered a strong seller's market, prices increase. And the lower the month's supply of inventory number is, the faster those prices increase. That's been happening for over a decade in the Triangle, and it's likely to continue for a long time because of our basic macroeconomic situation. First, let's talk about local supply. As they say, God isn't making any more land. Our area has been highly ranked as a desirable place to live for at least 40 years. And during all that time, builders have been buying up land and building homes, which is a good strategy for them whenever demand for homes exceeds supply. However, there's only a fixed supply of land. Most of the available land close to downtown areas has already been built on, except for infill projects, which happens when a longtime landowner finally decides to sell. Therefore, most home building is happening further and further away from the cities. For example, Rolesville, Wendell, and even Fuquay-Varina. But even in these areas, the demand for housing is still very strong. Now let's look at local demand. The Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Cary area has always been ranked among the best places in the United States, which means best places in the world to live, starting over 30 years ago when Money Magazine rated us the #1 place to live in the US. We are currently rated number 4 overall by Money Magazine. Recently, we've been ranked the #1 place for veterans to call home, the #2 place for remote working, the #4 for economic well-being, and the 2nd safest city in the US. People from all over the United States know about our area and want to move here. So we know the demand for homes in the Triangle is strong and will very likely remain strong for all these same reasons. Here's what I tell my clients about buying in the Triangle. Unless we have a worldwide economic meltdown or unless the local supply and demand situation changes drastically, buying a home in the Triangle, as long as you plan to hold it for few years is very likely to be an excellent investment no matter when you buy. And because the market always seems to go back up, buying in a dip when everyone else is running scared is likely to generate extra appreciation within a fairly short time period. As Warren Buffett often says, when others are scared, I get greedy. When others are greedy, I get scared. And even if there is another economic meltdown, our area, the Triangle region of North Carolina, for all the reasons I listed earlier, is likely to be the last impacted and the first to recover. If you felt this video was helpful, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified whenever we publish more content like this. Also, please write your thoughts or questions in the comments section below and I'll reply ASAP. If you're thinking about selling or buying or know someone else who is, I'm never too busy for you or your referrals to your family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. Just send an email to me at ashley@relevate.life and I'll be glad to help you.